I'm selling out twice in one day. New podcast. You can find the link in the description. I talked about the Wizards' future, talked about Call of Duty. There's actual ads. It's kind of weird. Anyway, Marc Gasol has re-signed with the Memphis Grizzlies, which means we're not trading for JaMychal Green, which means I'm looking next towards Jeremy Grant, who is kind of the next guy up who can play the power forward position, be an athlete, be a good defender, and then just do enough offensively for us. The other move we have to make is re-sign Kyle O'Quinn and give him some more money because he's been fantastic for us throughout the entire series as our backup center, so we got to keep him along. Bringing these two back, the emphasis on defense, of course, defenders around Porzingis, and I think Jeremy Grant at the backup power forward position does a lot of interesting things for us. If we just talk about Jeremy Grant as a player, I mean, he's pretty damn good on defense, man. And where the NBA is in terms of power forwards, I'm more comfortable in having a guy who's really an athletic 3 play the 4 for us because just does more stuff. You know, he can be a pick and roll player at times, cutting to the basket, transition plays, things like that, switching a few positions, and that switching is going to be something I talk about in a little more detail. Now, in this possession here where he's defending Porzingis, well, I would hope that he does not end up on the Derek Favors type of guys that much. I mean, Grant will a lot of the time be with bench units, but we can also make defensive adjustments if he ends up on someone who's too big for him. I mean, we're still going to have a center. You know, we can mix and match and all those things. As for his outside jumper, I mean, at times he's just going to miss. At times he is going to be open, and it's just simply not going to drop because he's just not a natural outside shooter. He's still like high 70s on his three-point stuff, so he's not awful, but, you know, it's not going to be beautiful every time. But then sometimes he might hit like, I don't know, 2 out of 3 threes. He might get hot, so, you know, there's going to be times when it might be a little frustrating, but I think ultimately it'll be a positive for us offensively. Now, if we can talk about some of the versatility it provides for us, I'm going to try Porzingis at center this season. We've held it off for a couple of years now. We'll try Zinger at the 5 spot, and the amount of shooting that lineup can give you is pretty nuts, and I think Jeremy Grant playing that 4 spot next to Porzingis can unlock Zinger at the center spot. But of course, you know, that's not going to be our starting lineup. DeAndre Ayton and Porzingis will be our starting front court. So now we got to see, you know, is Porzingis ready to do a few different things defensively at the center position? Is he going to be able to do stuff as a rebounder? Or are we just going to get killed on the boards when he's at the 5? I don't know. But that lineup also just gives us a lot of speed. It puts more shooters on the floor, and I think we could cause some problems for a lot of teams. And defensively, I mean, you got Ntilikina, who's quickly becoming one of the best defensive point guards in the league for us. Terrence Ferguson, who's decent there. Norman Powell, who, like Ntilikina, is better than your average defensive player. So there's a lot of stuff there, but I also think when you insert Tim Hardaway into that lineup, then it gets really interesting with a lineup of like Ntilikina, Hardaway, Ferguson, or Powell, Jeremy Grant at the 4, and then Porzingis at center. A lot of stuff that we can do. But of course, we can still go to conventional lineups, and that's what I like. I like having a lot of options because you kind of need it going up against the LeBron James of the world. Now if we can just talk about DeAndre Ayton a little bit. His impact was really felt as a rebounder in the playoffs for us. There were times when I didn't even have to call his name, and he would just grab a whole bunch of offensive boards. I think more of the same, definitely. Probably use him a bit more in pick-and-roll situations, but offensive rebounds and then hopefully getting better defensively is the thing for him. With all that, and with Eric Spoelstra as our new coach, 2K thinks we're the 12th best team. I mean, we were worse than that, and we won 45 games, so I think we'll be okay. Now we got to look at a couple of things, mainly Chase Whitney, who was our recent first-round pick, who is amazing on open three-pointers, and he's got to work on basically everything else, as well as DeAndre Ayton at center. Now, we're going to be posting up with DeAndre on this possession. Luckily for us, the dude just flops, and it's an easy 2 points. We're not going to see too many DeAndre Ayton post-ups in the actual season. I mean, if he's got a switch on him, then definitely go to work in the post, but I don't want to throw the ball in the low block to him that often because, number one, we have a much better low post option in Porzingis already, and I just, you know, posting up all the time. It's 2018, man. Raymond Teague, I hope he knows how to dunk, because, I mean, that was a prime dunking situation. Here's the thing with Raymond. He's basically good at two things: defense and mid-range jumpers. Now, I like the defense. I don't love the mid-range jumpers. It's not bad, but I think Jeremy Grant, with his defensive versatility, athleticism, as well as being able to hit threes, is just a better option for us at that backup 4 spot. We're trying to get Whitney open right now, and that is exactly what happens. You better knock that thing down, and he does. He's like a 91 on open threes. So, as long as he just becomes not terrible at everything else, then we can do something. Why the hell am I pausing the game? Oh, I had to check the sliders to make sure that I wasn't using jacked up sliders, which is what I do when I want to find footage. When I want Jeremy Grant to make a 3-pointer over Porzingis, I'll just turn the sliders up because I'm not trying to sit there for 12 years until he makes a 3-pointer. But then, of course, when I'm playing an actual game, I use more balanced sliders because I don't want to just win every game. Here's the Raymond Teague patented mid-range jump shot. So there you go. He's got that going for him. It's 9-0 right now, and I'm pretty sure from here on out, we get destroyed by the CPU, because suddenly I go to DeAndre Ayton like a million times on pick and rolls and it never works, but whatever, I just keep doing it, and they hit jump shots like that. Shout out to Kay Felder for always being the Summer League point guard on your roster. Technically, Frank Ntilikina's on the roster, but there's no reason he would ever actually be on the team at this point. The Summer League team, of course, because I mean, what am I going to learn that I don't already know from our point guard, Anyway, we're running another play for Whitney, but the thing is, I don't know these plays. I don't know what's good. I don't know what isn't. That's not a bad shot, but Whitney is more known for his threes, and his mid-range jumper isn't exactly ideal. I mean, if Whitney can just become a really good overall shooter and then just not be a disaster on defense, I could picture him being a member of the rotation, If you can shoot threes, then I'll definitely at least consider what you got going on. This video is almost over because, I don't know, the Summer League isn't super interesting at this point, and you've basically already seen what you need to see out of our lineup. But you know what? Let's just look at one more possession, and we'll see if we do anything interesting or if someone just bricks a 3-pointer. We're calling another play for Whitney. I don't know which Bridges this is. It's not Miles Bridges, because we wanted to draft him initially, and then it didn't happen. And, the play was to get him an open 3 in the corner. It didn't happen, so now I just have to improvise something out of nothing. And, there you go. This field goal percentage is not looking pretty. Anyway, the season begins in the next video. Hopefully Eric Spoelstra turns us into a title contender. But I think a conference finals would be a fair expectation. And once again, new podcast. Find the link in the description.